What's up, amigos? Here is our third episode of our theory crafting series. This video we have our Werebear Summoner Druid build. If you haven't already seen our Earthbender and Airbender guide, definitely go check those out if summoners aren't really your thing. I'll actually be testing out the Airbender today live on kick.com/fluffyamigo when the servers come up. So, the idea here is we're going to take Storm Strike into Enhance into Fierce. So, we take Storm Strike here because since it's a Werebear Summoner build, we want some damage reduction. We also don't know if our damage reduction applies to our pets yet. So, again, this is all theory crafting. If it has been already discussed, go ahead and leave a comment down below. But I am building damage reduction for our own personal sustain and or possibly pets. So, Storm Strike gives us a 25% damage reduction for 3 seconds when we deal damage with the spell. We also go for Enhance, which immobilizes, but Fierce also has a 50% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds to help our pets. And for those who may not know, applying vulnerable status, it just makes enemies take 20% more damage. So moving on to our spirit section, or what you can call our core skills. Here we're going to actually take a couple points into Pulverize. This allows us to have something else to spam and not just waiting around for our minions or pets to do all the work. So we're going to put 3 points into Pulverize. We shapeshift into a Werebear, slam the ground, dealing so-and-so damage to surrounding enemies. So it's a nice AoE attack. It helps us clear because, I mean, obviously pets are more or less built around AoE damage or a single target and not AoE damage. We then go into Enhanced, which will overpower every X amount of seconds while you remain healthy. This means while you are above 80% health. We are then going to go into Rage and Pulverize, where it stuns enemies for X amount of seconds when they are overpowered with Pulverize. So from here, we're going to go ahead and move on to our defensive skills, and if you've watched the other two videos, you probably already know which defensive we're going for. We are going for Cyclone Armor. This is a staple for these Druid builds. It's too good. I can actually see it getting nerfed for release. It's a passive 20% non-physical damage reduction, which means just 20% elemental damage. Our Cyclone Armor also has an active effect where it knocks back enemies, dealing, I mean, it's a small amount of damage. It's only 15% damage. This could be wrong though. We'll see later on today when we do some more testing. So our Enhanced Cyclone Armor that we're going to take, all it does is buff the knockback. It also slows them for 40 seconds. The real thing about this is preserving Cyclone Armor. When we're in combat and taking incoming damage, every 10 seconds, we get an extra 40% global damage reduction for X amount of time. This is what makes this over the top and super, super overpowered. So, moving on to our companions. Now we are a summoner build. So, we are going to max out our wolves. As a passive, we summon 2 wolf companions that bite enemies for so-and-so damage. When we activate the wolf spell, it directly targets and focuses an enemy, leaping to them, striking for so-and-so damage. We then are going to go ahead and take Enhanced Wolves, which deal 20% increased damage to all enemies who are CC'd. And for our second modifier, between Brutal Wolfpack and Ferocious Wolfpack, I like the idea of them with their lucky hit chance, which by the way, they have a high chance, it's a 50% lucky hit chance, to grant me a percentage of fortify based on my percentage of base life. We are also, of course, going to spec into Call of the Wild. Here, you have an option. You can go for 2 points and take Poison Creeper, but we don't know if we can summon one of our companions and then swap that skill out for something else. So in the written guide, I actually have down for 3 points and Ravens. That way we can have Ravens, Wolves, our Cyclone Armor for our 3 active skills. Pulverize would be on our right click. Storm Strike would obviously be our left click. And then we have room for our ultimate. So if we can summon a minion and then replace the skill and just keep it up in the background just as a passive minion, then you can go ahead and put 2 points in, put a Vine Creeper in, summon your Vine Creeper so they can poison, once every 7 seconds. But for the sake of this video and for the guide, I'm going to assume that you cannot do that. We are going to put a point in the Ravens, a point into Enhanced Ravens, and 1 point into Ferocious Ravens. So as a passive, Ravens, they fly above you, periodically attacking enemies every 6 seconds. When we activate the Raven effect, it swarms an area with Ravens, dealing so and so damage over X amount of time. This is an AoE proc. With Enhanced Ravens, they grant us critical strike chance for 5 seconds when enemies are hit by the Ravens. Ferocious Ravens is the real thing about this, is anytime we activate the ability, we can AoE spread our vulnerable status for 3 seconds. So since we spent 13 points total in our companions, we can go skip Wrath. We don't need anything in the Wrath tree. And we're going to go straight to Ultimate. And here, we are going to go with Grizzly Rage. We shapeshift into our Werebear, 10 seconds, gain a 20% extra damage, and 20% damage reduction. So, theoretically, this should increase our companion damage. And the way that Grizzly Rage works also is kills extend the duration by 1 second up to 10 additional seconds. So at a maximum, we can last in Werebear for 20 seconds. We also gain 3% extra damage per second while in this form. So that would grant us an additional 60% extra damage on top of our 20%, totaling to 80%. And again, theoretically, that should mean 80% extra damage for our minions as well. And it grants us 20% damage reduction, which is always nice. So between our Pulverize, which helps our AoE clear, and we have our Ravens, which also is semi-decent for AoE. We have Wolves for single target. And I think this, with the Grizzly Rage, and if the damage increases our pets as well, will be good for AoE and for bossing. So again, a quick overview is we're going to be applying vulnerable status any chance that we get. We can apply it with our Storm Strike. We can apply it with our Ravens. We're then going to be AoE clearing with Pulverize while single target focusing with our Wolves. Grizzly Rage when there's a tougher elite pack, and when we're bossing, of course, we pop that. On screen, I'll also have a leveling process of what I'm going to be using while leveling the Druid, or what I would use, choosing which skill at which level. This is not something that you need to follow step by step. This is what I would personally do. You can honestly do whatever you want all the way up until level 25. I also have on screen a couple affixes to look out for, including physical modifiers and, you know, stack and life, of course, right, for defensive, but just everything that you should be looking for and things that you shouldn't be looking for on your gear. And that's it for our Werebear Summoner Druid build. If you enjoyed the video or enjoy what we plan on doing up until the release, go ahead and like and subscribe for more content. If you have any suggestions or things that you want to add, feel free to comment down below. Enjoy your open beta weekend, and until next time.